Hello, and welcome to the Y Employment Access Center of the National Capital Region's Job Search Strategies Workshop. Thank you for joining us today. For today's workshop, you will need a pen or pencil and some paper for notes and for doing an activity later in the workshop. If you have not already collected these items, please pause the video and do so now. This workshop was created for the Y Employment Access Centers of the National Capital Region. The YMCA-YWCA is a charitable, community-based association dedicated to improving the quality of life of children, youth, adults, and families through programs that build spirit, mind, and body. The National Capital Region, YMCA-YWCA, provides opportunities for personal growth and character development by providing unique and contemporary programs, like our employment programs, for everyone regardless of race, religion, creed, ability, or economic circumstance. If you have any questions about this workshop, please speak to one of our staff. We will be happy to assist you. Before we get started, I'd like to remind you of the services that are available through the Y Employment Access Centers in the Ottawa area. Through our two resource centers, you can access computers and job search libraries, one-on-one assistance with resume and cover letter writing, as well as mock interviews. You can attend a variety of employment-related workshops and gain access to one of our dedicated employment consultants who can support you one-on-one with your job search. If you have not already done so, please speak with one of our Resource Center advisors today about how we can support you. Today we will learn 5 strategies for improving your job search. By the end of this workshop, you will be able to develop a personalized job search plan, understand key ways in which you can optimize your job search, be able to identify your employment value and its importance in your job search, and understand how to make the best use of every opportunity for employment. Before we get started, let's take a few moments to reflect on what strategies you have been using so far in your job search. Let's take a look at the list of job search activities on the screen. Take a minute to read through and think about which activities you have completed in the last 2 weeks. What we are trying to do with this workshop is to start thinking differently about how we job search. Your job search should be purposeful and organized. The goal should be to optimize your use of time and only participate in activities that yield the highest reward. Let's start by taking a look at our 5-point plan to shorten your job search. Number 1, do your research. There's no point in jumping right into things without having a plan and knowing exactly what kind of job you're looking for. Part of doing your research is knowing how employers hire in order to use your time wisely during your job search. Number 2, identify your target. You need to know yourself and your industry before you get started. You will need to do some self-reflection in order to know what is most important to you in terms of meaningful employment. Number 3, don't do it alone. Make sure you have support in your job search, both personally and professionally. Number 4, have a well-thought-out plan, and more importantly, stick to it. Number 5, make sure you make every opportunity count and don't miss out on the chances that present themselves. Let's examine each strategy for success in greater detail in order to optimize your job search. A moment ago, we identified some possible job search activities that you may have already been participating in. Traditional job search strategies don't always take advantage of what we know about how companies hire. The most effective job search strategies in today's job market turn traditional plans upside down. Let's take a look at this diagram explaining how employers like to hire. Most of us approach our job search from the bottom up, searching for job postings and applying online, when in fact what we should be doing is trying to enter the process further up the chain. Employers will take the easiest, lowest risk option available to them. As job seekers, we need to optimize our job search in order to capitalize on this. Employers will always hire from within if they can. Only after reaching out to the network contacts and colleague connections will they place an ad or hire an outside applicant using a resume. We also need to know specifically how hiring works in our sector. For instance, government, teaching, police, etc. These sectors have specific hiring processes that you should be aware of if you plan on entering that sector. Do your research before you start your job search. This way, you don't waste your time doing activities that have no chance of generating employment opportunities. The next avenue that employers will explore is by using proof. This means that they are looking for someone who has proven that they are able to do the job, either by having already done a similar job as a contractor for the company, or for someone who is known to the employer or hiring manager. Often employers will use hiring agencies to find new talent. Contractors then have the opportunity to prove that they can do the job. The next time a full-time position opens up with that company, the contractor is now already there, can provide proof, and has connections with the organization. In addition to understanding how employers hire, you should also know the labor market. Doing your labor market research prior to starting your job search will help you make decisions about which sector to target, give you an idea of timelines or how long will it take to find work in your field, help you identify key skills that you can highlight to employers, enable you to identify key employers in your sector, and will provide you with salary information in your sector. Doing your research enables you to develop a job search plan that focuses on activities that will shorten your job search. We will talk more about this later when we get to step 4 of our plan. When it comes to your job search, it is important to make sure that you are devoting your time to activities and industries that are likely to result in employment. There is no point in devoting hours of work applying for positions that you have little chance of getting, either because opportunities in this field or industry don't exist or are too few, or you are underqualified. Doing your research before getting started helps you focus on realistic and attainable opportunities. Pause the video and take a few moments to answer the questions on the screen. Were you easily able to answer these questions? How might these answers shape your job search? Which of your answers need more research? What resources can we use to find answers you don't have already? The second tip to shortening your job search is identify your target. Job search is impossible if you don't know what kind of work you want to do. To start, explore the labor market for your field and do some career exploration. Maybe you know what kind of work you want to do, say accounting. Labor market information can help you target different sectors. Many employers need accountants. LMI can help you identify industries where there is growth and therefore employment opportunities. Doing your labor market research will also help you identify what kind of work or tasks you enjoy doing and how those skills line up with different jobs or industries. Secondly, be honest with yourself about your employment needs and wants. This will require some self-reflection. Being able to identify what is most important to you and what you have to offer will help you narrow down your job search. This is an important step in finding meaningful employment. There is no point applying to jobs that aren't a good fit. Neither you nor your employer will be happy. And thirdly, what is your target sector? Do you want to work in the public sector, in IT, for a nonprofit? Identifying what sector you want to work in will determine what strategies you will use in your job search. Some sectors have very strict ways of doing their hiring, as mentioned earlier. That is going to impact how you job search and how you apply for positions. Try creating a list of employers that you would like to work for, and do some research into their hiring practices. This will guide how you move forward with your job search. By creating a top 10 list, not only are you identifying top employment goals, but it also helps you learn about the industry as a whole and may direct you to other, smaller, less known employers in the same field that may have more employment opportunities. When compiling your top 10 list, you must remember to continue networking, cold calling, and responding to job ads, but complete this list. This is your top 10 list of places that you want to work. These places should reflect your values, needs, and must-haves. Be sure to rank the organizations from 1 to 10, 1 being the place you most want to work at, and 10 being somewhere where you will definitely work, but it is the furthest away from your values, needs, and must-haves. Select one thing that impresses you about the organization so that you can incorporate this in your information interview or 30-second pitch when you come face-to-face with somebody from within. To start, begin with number 10 to call. Book an information interview and practice your pitch. If you get a job, great. If you don't, learn from the experience and move to the next on your list. Each time, journal or record the information for future follow-up and your continuous learning. By working through the list from bottom to top, you will be gaining valuable experience as you move towards your top choices of employers. One of the most important parts of the job search process is analyzing your needs and values. Take some time to think about what is important to you in terms of employment. What are your needs and values? Be honest with yourself about your needs in terms of employment and what is most important to you. If commuting distance and method is a deal breaker, that will impact your job search. It will change the kind of research you are doing on each employer. You will need to research employer locations and determine accessibility before deciding if you apply for the job. If working conditions is more important to you than salary, that will also affect how you'll be conducting your research during your job search. These are all important things to consider as part of your job search. Never forget that at the end of your job search, you'll be working for that employer. This upfront research is invaluable in ensuring that you'll be a good fit. Number 3 on our tips list is, don't job search alone. Job searching is all about having support. Looking for work is hard, both emotionally and physically. Feeling supported throughout the process not only makes it easier, it also makes it more enjoyable. Make sure you have support, both professional and personal. Tap into your network. The more people that know you're job searching, the better. This can be difficult because we often feel embarrassed by being out of work. Don't let this stop you from telling everyone. It's not about who you know, it's about who knows you. Get professional help. Use professionals to help you get your foot in the door. Enlist a friend. Getting help from a friend doesn't necessarily mean taking a friend with you. Sometimes it's just about having a cheerleader or someone to meet up with after an interview to debrief. Join a job search support group. Support groups, either formal or informal, puts you in regular contact with other people who are going through the same thing as you. Support groups give you the opportunity to trade stories and experiences. You'll be able to strategize with fellow job seekers, and you'll be able to grow your network by opening up new opportunities. The 4th tip to shorten your job search is, have a plan. Treat your job search like a job. Work a 9 to 5. Schedule activities and check them off as soon as you complete them. Keep a log of what you have done, what has worked, what didn't work, and modify your plan accordingly. Tracking your successes helps you stay motivated. Networking should be at the center of your job search strategy. Get the word out to friends, trusted colleagues, and even relatives that you are actively looking for a job, and ask them to keep their eyes and ears open for any opportunities. Plan at least one face-to-face activity per week. Expand your network and join professional organizations. Sign up for job search newsletters and email blasts. Contact former professors and classmates, and participate in online discussion boards. And of course, don't forget about using online network forums like LinkedIn. During your job search, you should be checking LinkedIn every day. Let's take a look at this example of a weekly schedule that could be used during an intensive job search. There are a few things to take note of. This plan includes a variety of job search activities, including volunteering, informational interviewing, workshops, cold calls, etc. It's tailored to the individual who is job searching. In this case, the person has family obligations and childcare responsibilities. These things are built into the schedule while still allowing ample time to focus on job search. The plan includes activities that will keep you motivated, including going to the museum, the park, having family time, date time, and entertainment. There is room for flexibility. If something takes more time than expected, there is a built-in plan for creating more time to complete a job search activity. In this example, there is time every evening that could easily be used for job search related activities if necessary. The plan also includes exercise so that you stay healthy. It is important to continue to do things that keep you healthy and happy. However, the most important thing here is that this plan treats job search as a full-time 9-to-5 job. If this is the kind of work you are hoping to find, devoting the same hours to your job search will not only speed up your search, but it will also help you with your transition to working, since you will already be used to keeping the same hours. Once you have your week planned out, make sure you are tracking your job search activities. Every time you contact an employer, reach out to a contact, apply for a position, make sure you write down what you did. This is how you will identify what strategies are working in order to concentrate on the most effective activities. In this example, the tracking sheet is for job applications. We can see how this information is useful for follow-ups and for potential future applications. The information being tracked is the position title, and you'll want to include the type of position, for example, whether it's full-time, contract, part-time. Include any position code if applicable. Employer. Include your contact person's job title, for example, if they are manager, director, coordinator. Material sent. Make sure you track what you've provided the employer, for example, your resume, cover letter, application form, writing sample, your portfolio. Follow-up. You'll want to record the date you completed the follow-up. Application date. You should apply as soon as possible, well before the closing date. The closing date. And finally, keywords and notes. You can also add things that you'd like to include in your follow-up. Of course, this is just an example of how you might stay organized during your job search. Take some time to think about what information is important to collect and what organizational tools will work best for you. The fifth and final tip is to make every application and opportunity count. Don't waste time on jobs that aren't a good fit. When applying to a position, make sure you meet at least 80% of the requirements. There's no point wasting time preparing an application for a position for which you won't be considered. Make sure every application is as good as it can be. Be diligent in your preparations of applications. Put yourself in the recruiter's shoes. Ask yourself, would you be interested in this resume? Make sure your application is free from typos and errors and is properly tailored to the position and employer to which you are applying. For more information on how to do this, refer to our resume tailoring workshop. Carefully prepare for interviews. Do your research. Make sure you are properly prepared for every interview, cold call, and informational interview you do. You should try to know more than just the basic things about an employer beforehand. Prepare questions in advance and practice. You can do this by doing mock interviews. Always be prepared and presentable. Dress professionally in situations where you might have the opportunity to network. Don't be caught off guard, and don't be afraid to network in unusual places. It's not just about attending networking events. You may be introduced to someone at a party or run into someone at the grocery store. Make sure you are capitalizing on every opportunity that presents itself. Finally, a bonus. Never forget the importance of lifelong learning. Stay fresh. Demonstrating that you can learn new skills makes you more appealing to potential employers. Stay up to date on your existing skills and stay on the leading edge of developments in your field or industry. Try, and try again. Just because you tried it once and it didn't work doesn't mean it won't ever work. Try new things. Step outside your comfort zone. You never know when everything will finally fall into place. Before we finish today, here are some additional resources that might come in handy during your job search. Don't forget to use all the resources available to you during your research for your job search. Use JobBank, Google, and LinkedIn, etc. These are all valuable tools in your job search arsenal. And don't forget that Employment Access Center staff are here to support you during this process as well. Thank you for listening. If you have any questions about the material covered in this workshop, please speak to one of our staff. So, what workshop should you be doing next? The Resume Tailoring Workshop will teach you to effectively take advantage of every opportunity that presents itself by making your applications perfect. The Interview Workshop will help you prepare and practice for any interview. The Networking Workshop and the Social Media and LinkedIn Workshop will allow you to expand your horizons for job search and increase your likelihood of getting that job interview. You will also learn more about how you can make every opportunity count in your job search. Don't forget to talk to your employment consultant or a resource center advisor on how to build on the job search skills you have acquired today. You can also use the resource center during your job search, where you have access to staff who can help with advice as you work through the steps. Thank you once again for listening, and have a great day.